Quite the ancient gear surprises for you today. We also have Aonics and friends, and don't worry, some more of your interesting meta challengers are still here. Make sure you guys smash the like crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out more on content. Now this is awesome to see. We have ancient gear actually sporting off the new ancient gear statue in here. So remember, if your opponent controls more monsters than you do, we can special summon this from the hand. You only special summon one of these once per turn. And we can tribute this card to special summon an ancient gear golem or a monster that mentions it from the hand or deck, ignoring summoning conditions. Oh boy, so this opens up an entire new gateway to being able to bring out, Mr. Dark Golem here. You can turbo on into an ancient gear golem. You can bring out the gear frame. It really just kind of depends on which piece of the collateral puzzle that you're going to need here. Still playing the Triple Fortress in here as well. We're playing one copy of the Gear Town, which I think is fine. You do see the good old Ancient Gear Fusion, and we are playing one copy of the Dragon down here in the side deck. Real shame that, we didn't get to see this. And RIP to the Kaiser Coliseum for actually getting banned. We'll not get the chance to see this work out anymore, but the OTK machine is back, and this is freaking cool to see. Next up here, we have more Ancient Gear Golem for you here. This build playing 2 copies of the statue. I do think 3 is probably the way to go with this. Playing 2 copies of the Tinker, okay, and of course, Advance is still absolutely broken where you want to see. I do see the Urgent schedule getting its absolute value that you need to down here. And playing 1 copy of the Gizmek Immobile Intellect as well. This build does not have a side deck, which is also kind of a shame. I wish we could have actually seen what you could do with this. I also see, what are you doing here, number 100? Yes, we can OTK with the Dragublion. The fact that this deck has so many, like reversible methods to its madness, you can kind of just access and throw at your opponent. I think that's kind of interesting to see. Outside of that, this is by far, both these ancient gear decks will give you an interesting little chance to see what you can mess around in the course of the meta, just to have a wee little bit of fun in the meta. All right, next up here, we have Aonics. I love this card. This is the beautiful Fire King monster that helps you get into the little... Well, there's the Garunix. All right, we're playing 2 copies of Kieran, still freshly semi. And, of course, we're playing the Primal in here. Hello, Great Shogun Shion. Wow. I guess we've gotten to the point out here that I guess just being able to deploy this card against your opponent is kind of, free real estate. OCG still has triple anti-spell as well. And, of course, we do see 2 copies of the Unending Nightmare in here as well. I was thinking one of the most interesting things here is we're actually playing the Electro Blaster. On normal or special summon, you can special summon this card from the hand, then you can send a level 8 Pyro from your deck to the graveyard. And if a spell card is activating, make all fire you control gain 300. That little boost actually might be pretty decent here. But hey, you know what? Discarding from the hand to get a possible 300 boost across the board might actually be worth it, depending on what you're actually trying out here. So, good stuff to see Aonics working out here. All right. We have the Magical Musketeer good stuff here with... We're playing a copy of Grapha in here. Oh, okay. I see that we're actually playing triple copies of Dark Corridor in here with a copy of Ascension, so you can actually get into the big Dark World fusion monster yourself. That's freaking hilarious to think about. But most of your Magical Musketeer stuff, once again, this is all just 1 card, toggle on into max, and then congratulations, you can Requiem on into that because you've got a Light Fiend monster. Good to go. I love when you can rotate a Link 1 into a Link 1. I think this is the first interaction of Link 1ing into, another Link 1 besides, making the Secure Garden a play off of some of the other stuff. But congratulations. This build is actually really cool. I'm happy to see the utility options are still present for things you want to see here, and the fact, the Fiendsmith stuff. Kind of still doing Fiendsmith stuff. You gotta love to see it. All right, what else we got cooking back here? We have a Whitewood's Trickstar package. Now, most of the only things I would want to be messing around with the Trickstar stuff would be probably actually pure Trickstar, but I do find it funny here that the Whitewood stuff can obviously, feed off of your field spell after you resolve to search, drop the Blue Angel's Tears. You can also get access into the Reincarnation, so you can draw lock your opponent. Also, we can pull out the top hat hair here off of the back end of the combo and do your thing. Also, your Whitewoods package, you're just essentially playing 1 of each of these. I also see we are doing reframing in here as well, so you can access the Vices Amra here, so you can kind of do that. This is interesting. I wonder if something like this will kind of take off in the TCG. You know, you don't need any of the new Trickstar cards for this stuff, which is actually kind of cool. You know, we just did get the whole Light Duels pack, but, you know, not needing to dedicate anything, just the mini package here is good enough to me. Next up here, 60 card Turbo. Well, first of all, you are dedicating slots to the Tachyon here. We have definitely had a major upticking here in the Tachyon Primal stuff, just so you can kind of get into this good card right here. Do not underestimate how stupid that this deck can actually be. Setting up the free Tachyon Transmigration off of the free search of this. It's so kind of cool just being able to, you know, 2 level 8 monsters, get you into the Draguxion. The Draguxion can level itself on up. You get the free Primal set up here. You're getting into some interesting stuff. I also see oh my gosh, we're getting into the full armored stuff in here as well. We have a copy of the Black Goat Laughs, and we're also side decking a copy of Rise to Full Heights. This deck really tries to have everything. Also, hello Crystal Beast 1 card package. How are you? This is cute. I like this. All right, what else we got cooking back here? We have Voiceless Voice with the Fiendsmith stuff. So, in the OCG, Fiendsmith has been struggling a little bit out here. I'm not gonna lie to you about that. It was kind of nice to see some of the later ideas that this deck was kind of trying to kind of generate in the meta, but it's had its own issues, honestly. But this Fiendsmith package here is kind of meant to kind of give you some extra bodies on the field. You know, going down through the Fiendsmith stuff, setting up this little guy here. We're not playing the Beatrice, we're just setting up the Lacrimosa. So you have, you know, the little ping for the 1200 damage to kind of close the gap. Also focusing on 1 Sarvis with 2 copies of the Skull Guardian. I think these ratios are fine. And once you kind of start to, you know, cut off from this, please stick to these ratios. We're also playing a copy of Maximus, so, you know, shaving off things like Malong will get you into some good places. Also, Elder Entity Ints. Okay, let's see here. Ooh, we have Purely for you. It's been a little while since we've seen some of this OCG Purely stuff. Still 2 delicious memories. This build is playing 2 Shifters. That's very interesting to me, but Shifter's one of those cards that definitely Purely can just kind of take the turn skip, not really care, and go, hello, Triple Purely Leap, how are you? I also see the 2 Mole Chummy. Yeah, this card is a very annoying problem. I understand why so many duelists look at this and they're like, oh, you know, like, I really don't want to deal with this. Yeah, understandable. Most of us don't want to deal with this problematic card either, but, you know, that's just kind of the state of the meta that, you know, we're stuck in. You gotta love the little advantage piles that the little guy can actually give you. So, good stuff. I'm, once again, happy to see, you know, you've got a pretty strong meta contender here. I am, once again, kind of curious, though, you know, will this continue to be something that we're going to see, or is this going to be something that will kind of fade away to the test of time? All right, next up here. Woo! Oh my gosh, it is the Dia Blaster. Negate all cards and effects activated in this card's column. Well, that's going to be something very special. And if there are if there is a column with no cards, you can special summon this card from your hand to that column. You only special summon one of these once per turn. Negate all cards and effects activated in this card's column. And if this card in the monster zone is destroyed, it gets to go into the pendulum zone. I love this card. I think this card is incredibly cheesy for what you want to be able to do with it. I mean, you're already doing Melodia stuff in here. We are doing the Golem little package in here, just so you can kind of put the extra bodies on the field. So you can kind of, hey, look, free top hat hair access. I see that we are main decking the Azurune, but we are also signing the Silhouette. And we're playing Gravity Collapse in here as well. All because make a free Borreload Savage and then blow your opponent out with it. That wasn't on my bingo sheet, but okay. And our last list here, oh boy, Fiendsmith Yubel. So you thought everything you've been dealing with in the meta was okay. Well, things are about to get a lot more interesting because this is going to be the next evolution to this deck. The Nightmare Throne, good stuff. Of course, the Angel of Blue Tears being side decked. I've loved watching this card be a side deck option. I think it is incredibly interesting to see what it can kind of bring to the table. And of course, just remember, I mean, your deck's whole point is to soft loop on through, make the Wave King Kaiser or the Beatrice to access whatever you need to. drop that Black Goat Laughs, and just continue on along with your day. Isn't the meta just an absolute fun place? Like, isn't this the kind of stuff that you love to see? So please, leave a comment down below. This week's OCG is kind of wild. We're getting ready to ramp on up to a new format, so I am kind of curious to see how things will go. You guys have a good rest of your day, all right? Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.